A young engineer survived a hit-and-run accident. He's alive, conscious, but bleeding. He was sent to 3 hospitals, Kolebu, Ridge, and Police Hospital, over the next 3 hours. By the end of the night, he was dead. And the reports from the inquiry set up by the Ministry of Health tells us that he did not die from the accident, but died from preventable cause, which he could have survived. Welcome to the BODD podcast. I am always your African rural doctor. Today we are here to talk about the Nobel syndrome and the aftermath of what has transpired, where people have been suspended and all, and people have died, and how history has recorded all the happenings until this recent happenings. And then we will also give our point of view. I'm here to do this with Emmanuel Kumi as usual. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, sir.
In order not to mix the facts, I'll read exactly what the report from the Ministry of Health Inquiry, led by Professor Akosa, found out, the findings that he came up with, so that we'll all be on the same page, and then we'll carry the discussions on from there. The case of 29-year-old engineer Charles Amisah, who was injured in a hit-and-run accident in Accra in February 2026. According to the reports, he was taken by the emergency responders to 3 hospitals, including Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Ridge Hospital, and Police Hospital in Accra, but was allegedly denied timely emergency treatment because of bed shortages and referral issues. He later died from his injuries, and the incident has triggered serious public outrage, leading to the minister forming an inquiry, committee of an inquiry, which Professor Bedu Akosa was the lead. The findings came out as follows. The committee's report was given in May 2026, which concluded that Charles Amissah did not die immediately from the accident itself. Instead, it found that he died from prolonged and preventable blood loss because emergency interventions were delayed and not provided promptly. The report also stated that he was alive throughout the transfers between the hospitals. The major injury was a deep arm laceration with damage to blood vessels and fractures, an injury considered survivable with timely emergency care. Basic life-saving interventions such as bleeding control, IV fluid, and blood transfusions were either delayed or absent. At multiple points in the healthcare chain, there were missed opportunities to stabilize him before referral. The committee describes his death as a slow death from medical neglect, a phrase that has become widely used in the Ghanaian media and public for debate. Following that, the inquiry, disciplinary actions and institutional response came out, which led to 7 health workers from the hospitals that were involved being recommended for disciplinary action. 2 doctors and 2 nurses were interdicted at Kolebu Teaching Hospital pending further investigation. The Ministry of Health said reforms would be implemented to prevent similar tragedies. The committee also recommended that there should be a national emergency care fund. There should be mandatory stabilization of every patient before referral, better coordination of hospital bed management through an electronic system, and stronger enforcement of emergency obligations regardless of payment or availability of bed. So these were broadly the recommendations and the findings and recommendations of the committee that came out. But what the committee also brought out clear for everybody to understand were the timelines, because they actually visited every place that the guy Charles went. Apparently, he was from work. He had clothes from work. He had a motorbike that he was on. So from work, he was going through Circle towards Nima. So he was using the overfly, the Dubai overfly. So on the overfly, According to eyewitnesses, there was a big truck, those tipper trucks, on one side of him, and then I think a smaller car. I don't know if it's a taxi or a saloon car on the other side. According to Professor Zibedu Akosa, an interview that I watched on CTFM, the tipper driver sort of shoved him. He was passing in between them. He probably didn't see the motorbike, so he shoved him towards, and then he was bumped in by the other car on the other side. So the tipper went, but the other car went down the overhead, stopped, and then continued. Now, those who saw the initial accident came in, saw a dying man, and decided to take his wallet and, some things off him. So he went from Charles Amisah to a John Doe. Nobody knew who he was. To even call people and his family members and say, this is what has happened. Then people quickly called the ambulance services, which was just by in the area. So they didn't take long and they came over. So I want us to go through the timelines of how things happened after the accident till when he died.
Okay.
Yes. Timelines of Charles Amissah's final hours. It was Thursday, February 6th, 2026. Around 10:30 p.m. That was when the accident occurred. He works with Promasidor Ghana. He's an engineer at Promasidor Ghana. He was reportedly involved in a hit-and-run accident near the Kwame Nkrumah Circle overpass in Accra. He suffered, these are the injuries he suffered: a deep shoulder stroke arm laceration, heavy bleeding, and fractures. At 10:32, the ambulance just received a distress call. So 2 minutes later, somebody called the ambulance. So they received a call about a car crash at Circle. At 10:33, the ambulance mobilized and arrived at 10:35. So 5 minutes later after the accident.
Okay.
The ambulance were there. The EMT found Charles Amissah alive but bleeding heavily. Initial assessment reportedly showed BP 120/90. That's blood pressure. Pulse of 100 beats per minute. Oxygen saturation 99%. The EMTs, this is what they did. They controlled the bleeding with some gauze, applied a cervical collar, placed him on a spine board, administered oxygen. At this point, the ministry's committee later confirmed that he was still clinically salvageable. So at this point, even though he was injured and bleeding, he could have still survived. 10 minutes later, at 10:40, they leave the accident scene for police hospital. The ambulance leaves the accident 10 minutes after their intervention, took around 10 minutes. Then they left to the police hospital. 10:43, 3 minutes later, they arrived at police hospital. This is what happened at police hospital, according to reports. The hospital cited lack of beds. Charles was not triaged. No emergency stabilization was initiated.
Okay.
And the crew remained there for roughly 11 minutes. So they went to police hospital from the accident scene. Over there, they were basically told, we cannot accept you. Even without any technical person, or let's say any medical person, assessing the guy and seeing, is he even alive? Is he dead? What is the problem with him? So they just told the ambulance, send him somewhere else, basically.
Okay.
And I guess the back and forth, you come and see, took 11 minutes. So at this point, we've spent almost how many minutes? It took ambulance 5 minutes to get there. They intervened for another 10 minutes. That's 15 minutes. It took 3 minutes to the place. So that's 18 minutes.
18.
Plus 11. So 29 minutes so far.
30 minutes.
It's still less than 30 minutes. So the EMT crew reportedly suggesting using the ambulance trolley temporarily while awaiting space, but they were declined at police hospital. Then the second hospital, approximately 10:58 p.m. Okay, they arrived at 10:43. So when they realized that it won't work, they decided to go to the next hospital.
Okay.
So they arrived at Ridge Hospital, or Greater Accra Regional Hospital, at 10:58 p.m. According to the committee, he was again not stabilized at Ridge Hospital. No life-saving interventions were initiated over there. The ambulance remained there for 17 minutes before onward referral.
Oh.
So now we've entered 11 o'clock, way into 11 o'clock now. Then they decided, fine, if you are not getting a space in Ridge Hospital and nobody would attend to us at Ridge Hospital, let's go to Kolebu Teaching Hospital. So they went to Kolebu Teaching Hospital, arrived there at 11:20. This became the most controversial point in the case because when we calculate, roughly a little above 30 minutes after the accident, they were in Kolebu. Kolebu staff advised a referral to UGMC. The EMT objected because Charles' condition was worsening. Because the bleeding was heavy.
Sure.
Main arteries have been
severe.
Yes. And he's been spending 30 minutes pouring out blood. So at this point, the man is saying that, look, he's not fine. So take a look at him at least. He said we should go to UGMC. Negotiations reportedly lasted more than 30 minutes. 30 minutes. And no emergency intervention was started. So the time that you spend seeing is you could have at least tried something.
Yeah.
You understand? But we'll come to the discussion later. We are just stating the facts, as has been said. So the committee later said, even basic interventions such as pressure application, wound packing, IV fluids, bleeding control could have saved him at this point. Collapse and dead. Between 12 and 12:30 a.m., cardiac arrest. While still in the ambulance outside Kolebu, Charles reportedly went into cardiac arrest. EMTs immediately began CPR. Approximately 12:30 a.m., he was pronounced dead. The ministry committee said he was pronounced dead after 118 minutes after the accident. You can do the division for us and tell us in hours so that it will be easier for everybody. Some media reports also pronounced him dead after 12:50 a.m. A doctor at Kolebu later certified the death and instructed the ambulance crew to move the body to the morgue. 2 hours. So that's 2 hours. The next day, February 7th to February 9th, 2026, family were searching for their relative. They went to their dentist to report that he was missing and he has not been seen. Meanwhile, and because they don't know anything about the accident, they filed a missing persons report, circulated posters on social media and things, and searched police stations and hospitals looking for him. On the 9th, family members identified him. The Nima police station eventually contacted the family, and they went to Kolebu's mortuary and confirmed the unidentified victim as Charles Amissah. Now, this is why the timelines are important in our discussion. Charles was reportedly alive throughout the whole transfer to the 3 hospitals. He spent nearly 2 to 3 hours moving from one hospital to the other. And the committee concluded that his injuries were survivable with timely interventions. So it transformed the story from a fatal accident into a preventable death caused by delayed emergency care. So this is a brief of the journey on the fateful day that Charles Amissah died. And these were the action. I'll ask for your initial thoughts.
It's very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate to lose a young, vibrant, energetic man such as Charles Amissah to circumstances like this, which could have been prevented. I believe that, yes, without doubt, our system have so many challenges and problems. But with this report, I think that even in the ambulance, first aid or emergency care could have been given. Sometimes when you are transporting a patient in an ambulance, there will be IV fluids in situ while the patient is commuting to the referral point. So from the report, if they said IV fluids, pressure dressing, then wound packing could have salvaged the situation, then I think that something could have been done. And so I believe that I believe and agree with the conclusion of the matter that it was medical neglect on on the part of
Yeah,
the
but
professionals.
on the back of that, EMTs, they did what they used, what they have to do what they could, because they packed their dressing with gauze. I don't know if they put IV fluids, or I don't think they're allowed to set lines on
Yeah.
patients and things. So they did their packing the best way they knew how. And within the next few minutes, they went to the hospital.
No, I'm not talking about the EMTs. I'm talking about the hospital they go to, like the
Okay.
first hospital. I'm saying that per the committee's report, they said the findings were if Charles had like IV fluids in situ, proper pressure dressing done, could have salvaged the situation. And I'm saying that if you are saying you don't have a bed or bed at the facility, you still owe the patient in the ambulance a duty of care. So far as the patient is in your vicinity, you should at least have a look at the condition and see what you can do for the patient before the patient is sent to the next available hospital. So I'm not talking about the EMTs, I'm talking about
Okay.
the first
Okay.
hospital they go to, since they could have started the IV fluids whilst they refer to the next hospital and would have probably kept Charles Amisah alive
And for longer.
for a longer period.
Okay, but in your experience as a health personnel or a health person, why do you think that decision was taken by the personnel on duty in all the three hospitals consistently?
Okay,
Because I mean, from the way it has been said, it looks like everybody knows what they are supposed to do.
sure.
So why do you think that it's okay, or it's so sort of conventional that when somebody comes, we don't even look at the person and we see there's no bed, go to the next hospital? What do you think?
Okay, so I think that as a professional, the reality on the ground is that yes, we are our spaces, especially at the emergency units, are very limited. I've been to quite a number of emergency units, like the Eastern Regional Hospital, Nsawam Government Hospital, Suhun Government Hospital. When we talk about, we know that emergency units are not permanent wards, and that patient comes in, they are stabilized, and they are moved to the wards if they are fine. But the truth of the matter is that no matter what, these emergency units still lack space. And so, yes, sometimes when you're on duty and the place is full, probably I would, putting myself in the shoes of the workers at the three hospitals they visited. One, it can be that the emergencies are full and also their hands are full with cases, because you can't have a full emergency ward and you as a personnel will be free. Like you'll be seated, not doing anything. It means you have work to do. You have people to see. You have clients to attend to. And probably by the time they come in, you are also busy. Your hands are tied. You are busy on something. And so since there is no available bed, your initial comment or decision will be to refer, since you don't have what it takes to take care of the patient at that point in time.
But
So
if you say refer, at that point, is there a referral? Because you haven't seen this patient. You don't even know if he's alive or dead.
yeah,
Do you
so
understand? No matter how busy you are, we are taught to sort out our patients.
triage.
Okay, yes. You have to decide who you are seeing first, who you are seeing second, who you can help, who you cannot help. You understand? So if somebody has been bought, the mere fact that they have drove and he came in an ambulance, fine. Even if he came in a taxi, it doesn't excuse anybody. You understand? This person came in seeking for help, and you are saying that, oh, you are busy, the place is full and everything. We'll come to that, the bed being full. Your hands are full. Now, the triaging, it doesn't take the you see, the EMT people had their monitoring and everything in the
No,
ambulance.
no.
They're not now going to check the BP, count the pulse, and that sort of thing. It is teamwork. So, in my opinion, if you just went to the ambulance, eyeball the person, what are the injuries? Oh, he's bleeding from here, here, and here. The, you understand? Okay, this is what we can do for you. We cannot accept or admit you, but let's do this. Let's do this. You people come and help us. Let's do it. Pack them away. If you have an equal, let's say there are another accident, fatal accident over there, and the place is busy, boiling over, and they come, even in that case, you still have to triage and decide that, look, we cannot help you because of obvious this one. But this man needs immediate care. Then you, the health facility, will make the call. You understand? And coming from a health facility to another health facility is even worse. you know that doesn't even change the story.
It's true.
But ideally, once the patient has come to you, it's not your job to make sure that a person is, super well before they leave you. But at least the emergency care that you are supposed to give the person, emergency first aid, that one, every health personnel is supposed to know. And you see, it is not for lack of, let me say, skills that Charles Amissah died. That the people didn't know what to do. The people didn't even look at him
to know what to do
to see if they can handle him or they cannot handle him. And I know that health personnel are very learned in their field. I will not say they are all equally skilled, but they are all well trained, well learned, especially in our country. So my difficulty is, why do we know what we are supposed to do and choose not to do it? That's why I'm saying, use your experience. What do you think will make somebody in that, maybe sitting here will say, oh, we'll act differently, but in that position? Because you see, first hospital did the same thing, second did, third did, tells you that something is inside that is not being said. And that's what I'm trying to fish out from you. See whether you can at least postulate why people are behaving like that. We health personnel are behaving like that.
So, from a personal experience, I think that one, the work is
workload.
The workload, because personally, I have tried referring cases to Kolebu on countless occasions, and I have, like, from a personal experience, I have never had one single occasion where Kolebu said, I have bed, so bring the patient. Never. Every time, call us back in an hour or two. You wait, you call back, they will tell you still there's no bed because patients are trooping in. And we can't, take your case. So try another hospital. Try that Rage, try that 37. That's what they tell you. Because we are not there to really ascertain.
Verify.
But the truth of the matter is that, yes, I have also worked in an emergency unit before, like the Nsawam Government Hospital. That's where I had my internship done. And at the emergency unit, it was usually very busy. And usually the place is also full. So sometimes you meet patients sitting on the floor, patients, sitting in wheelchairs.
That in itself is also not the best.
Yes, patients sitting in wheelchairs to be attended to. And so I feel like the reason why the health personnel, because no health personnel is that emotionally damaged to the point that he or she will see a dying patient and say, I wouldn't do anything about it. I feel like sometimes it's because of the workload. And as I said initially, if your hands are on something or you are doing something at a point in time, the place is full, you are tired, you are stressed, and they tell you that there's an emergency, the first thing that will come to you as a human being will be to call a different hospital, because you feel like at that point in time, there is nothing you can do because of the circumstances at hand. But also, I understand your point that let's triage the patient, because so triage, you will get to know, say, oh, can we do something? Can we start something? Sometimes they will bring a patient to the hospital, emergency, the patient is unconscious. By the time you check the glucose or the sugar level, it's hypoglycemia.
It's very low.
Very low. And it means that even without a bed, you can still set up something in the car.
Simple.
And by the time the patient gets to the next facility, the patient would be alive. Or the patient wouldn't even need to be referred. Just starting.
You see, the problem is in saying, send him to the next facility without knowing his condition is that you don't even know if they will reach the next facility. Do you understand? You don't know the condition of the patient. You don't know the basics of why he's in the ambulance, taxi, or maybe motorbike. And you're saying, you're assuming that he'll get there. And also assuming that by the time he gets there, those people there are free to take care of him. You don't think that they will be as busy as you and tell them to also go somewhere. And when it comes to the big hospitals in Accra, this is not our first incident.
No.
We'll go into the history and look at maybe 1 or 2 cases which has happened in the past. But it's looking like if you have an emergency in Accra and you don't know somebody somewhere in the hospital who will speak for you, you have a similar incident. And it's worrying because all of us are potential Charles Amissahs.
Sure.
You don't know when you encounter a very difficult situation, if it's not accident on the road, in the house, or anywhere at church.
Sure.
And then when you are not dangerously sick to the point of dying, you die because somebody thinks you are okay, even though you are in an ambulance.
Yeah.
You understand me? So I feel that we usually overestimate what we are supposed to do for the patient, even before. So nobody is saying your beds are full. Nobody is saying take the patient in. Assess the patient.
Okay.
Basic assessment. Even if you meet an accident scene as a medic, and you are minded to help out, will you look for a bed?
No.
Assess the situation and advise. Do some intervention, first aid. You understand? When our military people go to war and they suffer certain accident, they don't look for bed.
Then there.
You understand? So for me, the issue is not the fact that the hospitals are full.
Okay.
And if the issue is that we have a super workload and things, we can address that. It's easily addressable. However, there are a lot of people who doctors and nurses save, and their issues don't come in the newspapers.
Sure.
So let's acknowledge that.
Yeah.
However, as you have said, even transferring a person from one hospital to another, at least Charles Amisah has the luxury of moving from one place to another and another. If I think that the reason why everybody is refusing to receive the case or even look at the case is that once you accept the case, it becomes your liability. Nobody wants to take it up from you.
Okay. That's true.
You understand? Then you are stuck with supervising the person's death. And you are frustrated. You go home with emotional baggage.
It's true.
You get me? So nobody wants to deal with that. However, they are comfortable saying, me, I've not seen the patient.
Yeah.
It's behind my conscience. You will send him somewhere and go and deal with your problem. And that is why, that's my humble opinion.
Okay.
That is why nobody took the pain to look at the gentleman in the ambulance and say, oh, what exactly is going on? Can this man even survive the next 10 minutes? If he cannot survive, you talk to the ambulance people that of this case, he will not survive. So let's do what we can for him. But to say that they should pick the fuel that they have been giving and also go, maybe the hospital is 20 minutes away and go there, even though you understand. But the burden of watching somebody die, once you cannot do anything for them,
about it,
it's not easy because we've all experienced, such. So, in my opinion, they are trying to protect their sanity, knowing very well that when they accept this case,
come on,
it will become their burden.
It's true.
That one aside, that is one of the points.
Okay.
That I think that's one of the reasons why I don't think it is out of wickedness, as people have postulated and everything. It's that's why it's a system malfunction, or the system has also been neglected to the point where there are no clear guidelines as to how we should go about some of these things.
Sure. Yeah.
So everybody does what they think is best for them. And so you don't go and touch a case that the case is too complicated and you can't handle, and now it becomes your burden. You understand? But when you do that, innocent people do suffer.
It's true. Patients.
So in the whole story, I think the take-home message for us as health personnel is that, look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the system is crippled in a certain way. Do what you have promised the public that you do. Put your best. You see, the other side is also lawsuits and other things. Okay, when people die and they are young and unexpected and people get hurt.
Yeah.
And if you are not careful, in the heat of the moment, you may take an unconventional decision as a health personnel. Oh, there's no enough bed. I've gone to see this case. Now, once you've seen the case, you've committed legality.
Yeah.
And then you go and do something unconventionally, and this person dies. Now you are blamed for the person's death. And if somebody can prove something, you pay for it legally, whether financially, whether you are going to lose your license or something. And so people are also afraid of some of these things. But I maintain that human life is sacred. It's more than your paycheck, your certificate, and everything. I'm not saying sacrifice your certificate. That's not what I'm saying. But do your best. Be talked about in a bad manner. Be blamed for it. But within you yourself, that is what you could have done. Putting in an IV line, ordering blood for this guy. Okay? Pressure dressing, packing, doing something for them may not have prevented his death. But you have done your bit. After that, tell them that, now go to this place. Do you understand?
I get it.
So that is where I think we are. I don't know. I don't want to use the word asleep, but it doesn't exist in our health system.
Yeah.
I've personally spoken about ambulance. I always take the pride of these ambulances that were bought. Because I started making noise before they were bought. In 2016, that the previous Mahama admission, I started calling media people that, look, we don't have ambulances. It's very dangerous.
Serious.
And you see, you may think that, you have money and you're a politician. If there's accident, helicopter will come for you and everything. But when it's election time, they are the ones who travel on the road the most.
The most, yes.
So finally, I knew some people who then went to do their own investigations. After I sent them Facebook messages and then I heard it on the radio. Now everybody's talking about it. And then the first one that they went to buy some, how do you call it? What's the name of this car? The car that they use for trotro. The Benz ones, right? They went to buy it and they tried to mold it. Or you don't remember? Yes. And then that one too came to blow. So now, and the Akufo-Addo government came. They brought these ones that we are using now. And they celebrated it. And you remember the celebrations around it. And those ones too are started going out sideways.
Most of them are not functioning.
Exactly. So there's not a real plan. Okay, there's not a real plan as to an ambulance service which is functioning. How they are. But this case doesn't concern the ambulance. They did their work.
Sure.
Okay, but there's a deeper issue also over there of the way currently they are run. Maybe if it wasn't circle and it was somewhere a bit on the outskirts, then the ambulance people will also be found wanting.
I think that Charles Amissah case was the one that came to public light. Like everybody was talking about it. But we've had several cases, accidents happen on our major roads without ambulance appearing. Because sometimes you make the calls, they will tell you their ambulance is out of shape. It's not working.
Out of commission.
It's not working. Sometimes the community people would have to bring them in taxis and all that. So I think that our emergency response as a nation or as a country is very poor.
It doesn't exist.
We don't. Yes,
It doesn't exist.
our emergency response, because elsewhere, no matter where the emergency is, even if it's at your home, you call the ambulance or the emergency.
come.
They will come wherever you are. They will make sure they come and on time to really. And when they come, they are coming with functioning equipment to assess you firsthand. Before they pick you. So whilst they are en route, they know where they are going to. They know the stats. They know like deep things. And boss, sometimes our ambulance service, they've come to facilities to pick cases
the
where
personnel.
they tell you.
The personnel.
Yes, the personnel and the car itself. They tell you we don't have ABC, we don't have oxygen cylinders, we don't have a pulse oximeter. So then,
but the new ones, I think, or maybe they are faulty.
Oh, the new ones. No, now the new ones that like have been in the system, they are developing the same issues.
Faults.
Yes, because I don't know whether it's a maintenance culture or what.
It's
Because
a matter of maintenance culture. Anything that human being does, it will spoil. So after some years, buy another one
and replace it. So they all have the same. Like you call them and they come, you would have to carry an oxygen cylinder from the hospital. So if you don't have enough at the hospital, patient is stranded. And all these things, it's very sad, is the patient, the ordinary Ghanaian that suffers from some of these things.
Who doesn't know anybody from anywhere?
Exactly. Sometimes we've had cases where we are calling ambulance and we are not getting ambulance. And sometimes people who are connected make calls and the ambulance appear.
Oh yeah. I've had a very, very nice one.
Yes, ambulance appear from, I don't know from where, but ambulance will come.
Mine, 4 ambulances came.
Can you imagine? So you ask yourself,
Remember,
if the person wasn't connected, how would the person would have gotten these ambulances?
meanwhile they are there.
They are there. So,
But a good point that you make is that sometimes you see, I've interviewed one ambulance station in Soon here, RSOY, and the training of the ambulance personnel in Charles Amissah's case, if they had the things to do the IV line, and at least they got to the hospital and they had an IV line, and they said, "Oh, we need some infusions." Even if you are saying that you don't have a bed, give us this, give us that, or maybe they have somebody that even communicating with. The person is telling them, "Oh,
the person is a medical doctor or."
But then again, they went to the hospital, and they are full of doctors. You understand? So I think that some of the training that they give them should be a bit more advanced.
Yes, it's true.
Than it is currently, because what they did was basically to pick him and run to the hospital.
Yeah,
but they could have maybe, if they were a bit more detailed, they could have known one or two things more to do, or even how to communicate the condition of the patient to the health personnel for him to know that this one is a bit dangerous. Also, when they are going to the hospital or they go to the accident scene, are they not supposed to call the facilities?
Do they have their numbers readily?
Why shouldn't they?
They do, but the thing is, if you are calling because you are not there, you call me, I'll tell you I don't have a bed, so I can't take it. So now you are stuck at the accident.
Oh no. You see, that's the point is not, is when there's an accident, the whole point is to shorten the time before the person gets actual care. So if you are saying that you cannot refuse an ambulance call from the outside, because if you don't have a bed, at least you're a hospital. That place, nobody can help you. So if you are saying that he should go here and go here and go here before he finds a bed, it will be a little too late for him.
That's exactly what he did.
Fair enough. If you are saying that you place a call and you don't have a bed, then tell us what we should do before we go to the next place. Do you understand?
And that's what they should
or in certain cases, you will come there to the site with your team.
Yeah.
So for me, I think that we'll come to no bed and then the calls. Because even between hospitals, it's a problem.
It's a big problem.
If you don't get a specific doctor who you are calling to inform, who then inform that, look, this case is coming, for them to accept, you will not be received.
Yes. Yes.
I think it's high time the ambulance service is trained as health professionals rather than paramilitary or security professionals. Like most of their training, you train like policemen or aside they showing them the CPR, the first aid things that they basically operate like their security service. And because you go to like foreign countries and we have like EMTs
Yes.
doing
Tracheostomies and
yes,
things. Yes.
exactly. But then you come here and sometimes you can refer a case and they'll come and tell you that this case, if a nurse or a doctor doesn't join us, we are not.
You are not going.
No, it's their training. It's their training. They have different levels of training. And I think the most qualified people, they don't go for the night shifts or the other weekend shift. That's I don't have the information. I'm just
Yeah.
assuming. So when you call, chances are that you meet those people more. And some of them are drivers. But it's just they have been trained to check vitals and certain things. But
Okay.
in this let's not deviate too much. In this specific case, they did their duties within time. And if it was left to them alone and their actions, the man will still be alive.
Sure.
Okay. So, I mean, having spoken well about the conduct and everything, let's look at about the recommendations that they give. The first one was they reported 7 medical personnel. Let's talk about that. Because there are fact-finding committee to come and see the facts of the matter. They found the facts of the matter. They found out that the patient was neglected. They recommended that those people who were responsible to this patient who neglected their duties were supposed to be, disciplined one way or the other.
It's true.
Yes. And then let's look at how they went about it, mentioning their names in the public, in pinpointing them. Some people will say scapegoating them. Is that a solution? Does that sort of sanitize what you can do and what you can do?
No, it
Does
doesn't.
that?
Doesn't.
How so?
First off, I think if Charles Amissah is my brother, I would be pained, and of course, I would feel like the interdicting or suspending the medical personnel on duty, kind of makes sense. And I feel like, yes, it's the right call in the sense that if I'm on duty and a patient is rushed, depend like with the narrative of Charles Amissah's case, I owe the person the duty of care without first of all considering whether there's space or not. I still owe the person the duty of care. So interdicting them or suspending them as a way of punishing them or correcting in one way or the other, it makes sense. But it doesn't really solve the whole situation or the whole problem we have in our health sector concerning this low bed, telling patients to go to the next available hospital and all that. Because the real problems on the ground, they are there. You can't just say don't do this and it goes away.
Gives no solution.
Yes, you say, oh, you shouldn't just turn away any patient just by saying it.
What should we do?
What should we do? Because every word or every recommendation must be acted upon. Okay, there are problems that have been identified. So it means then that actions must be taken.
But this is just one of the recommendations. So there are other ones.
Yes. So mentioning their names and all that.
Naming and shaming.
I think that it's not for that aspect. You could have sat on the case, do what you are supposed to do, know those who are at fault, and implement your sanctions without coming to mention their names and all that. Then it puts them at a greater risk of public.
Professor Kosa said because they are health professionals. They were doctors, nurses, all sorts of health professionals on the committee. Their fear was that if the names don't come out, it will be like they are covering up for their people.
Mm.
That is why they thought it wise to name. So, what do you have to say about that one? I'm not holding brief for him. That's his explanation for doing that.
Well, for the names
You
there.
can agree or disagree. I mean, that's what I want.
Oh, I wouldn't have, come up with the names, because stating their names and not only them, their relative, their family, and all those things. You don't know the actions or how people would react to some of these things. Some people are very, particular about going to find them and try to do. So you could have stated that two doctors at here, two doctors here, two nurses here have been suspended and interdicted or something, without categorically mentioning their names. So I think.
Well, but I also think that on that point, you are spot on. I mean, mentioning their names doesn't mean that if it were other people, they wouldn't have done the same thing. Okay, so that's number one. Number two for me is what makes it possible for somebody to do such a thing. It's the working environment. You understand? If you are working in my hospital and I tell you, you cannot send any patient away that you have not assessed, and it has happened once, and I've called you and done whatever punishment that you are supposed to receive to you, I'm sure the rest will take a cue and it will not happen again. So I'm driving at the fact that there are people responsible for the various hospitals. Where are they in the sanction?
As in the managers.
Of course. They are the ones supposed to ensure. You see, as and now, the health personnel are the ones who have received the blame. And it is like, oh, justice. No. The hospital's management and running, the day-to-day running, it's in somebody's care. That's what he's being paid to do. So if you are there and people are doing this under your watch, and the person who is doing the thing has been punished, where are you in the punishment? So that is where I have a problem.
Okay.
The doctors, if they neglected their care, if investigations prove that, because this is a committee that has found out that, if they are able to prove that, they should be punished by all means. However, what about those high up?
Somebody will say they are not there. Somebody will say they are not
They are
there.
running the system. In your absence, the system that you put in place is what is working. How come if there's no bed, you cannot call the nurse in command and say, you have a critically ill patient, The person will also call his nurse in command, so that whoever is the CEO or the medical superintendent or whoever is the boss over there will get to be the one to say, no, don't send this case away. Because when you say assemble, won't be. But then it's left to whoever is on duty. That is where we have the problem.
Okay.
Because there's no accountability. Until somebody dies like this, there are a lot of people who will be sent away who will end up with morbidities, chronic illnesses.
Yeah.
Because they survived, their matter will not count. So for me, I think major is the managers.
And I think
who were absent in the whole recommendation.
It's true, I get you. But, and also to add to what you just said, I think the provisions must be, like laid down process. Say
Protocols
protocols. That's okay. If we have a full emergency unit and there is an emergency, this and this and this and this should be done.
See, I tell you, I can promise you that if you go and look on the papers, it is there. Very well drafted. But me and you, we don't know about it. You understand? Because it will take money to implement. If you are saying that I don't turn any case away, do this and do this and do this, it comes with spending money.
But
you have to buy these equipment. You have to hire more people.
Yes.
You have to do this and do this and do this and ensure the system is running.
And it can be done.
Because the policies are there.
It can be done.
Implementation is not there.
Problem.
In other places, there are government appointees who will resign for something like this.
Yeah.
All the way from the top. Do you understand me? But in this case, we'll find the one who is lowest on the food chain and punish them and turn a blind eye as if the rest. Meanwhile, you people are the ones running the system. We are part of.
We are part of the system.
You are our bosses. So if anything, we should do anything wrong, you are the ones supposed to also check us. Why haven't we been checked for all this while and somebody has died? They should answer for that.
Okay.
Until things like that are happening, we cannot say it will go away. So for me, fair enough, punish those involved. Punish their superiors. Punish those who are running the system where somebody can be turned away. Punish those who are supposed to know that didn't know that this is going on under their watch. Then you are getting somewhere. Then everybody will know that, Charlie, we are being watched too. Anything that I do, we are being watched. You understand me? When a case comes, EMT has brought a case. You, the health personnel, are supposed to make sure the case is safely in another hospital. The only way we can achieve that is if the calls are being recorded. All these ambulance calls, 911 calls. So I'm saying 911 calls. Or 123 or whatever.
193.
I don't even know if they really work. All those calls, they are supposed to be recorded. Elsewhere, they are recorded.
Yeah. You know the time the call came in.
And the reaction. If we should have lines in hospitals where every call that comes on that line is recorded. So that if I'm referring a case to another hospital and I'm being told there's no bed and patient dies and relatives want to sue, and I say, oh, I call Kolebu at 2:00 on the 7th of January and I was told there's no bed, they can go back and see if I actually called and look at the timetable and see if there was no bed. It's simple. But because people will pick the call, they don't want to work. Apparently, the place is too busy for their liking. They will tell you, call back in 2 hours. By which time they have gone home. They have closed their shift. Forgetting that certain cases don't have 2 hours. Yeah. And even if I have to move from, let's say, a place like Odan or some place, Chebi, it will take me almost 1 hour on the way. I should wait for the bed to be there, for you to see the physical bed before I move. By the time I get there, you've admitted another person on that bed. Yeah. You understand? So, the protocols there, I can tell you, my brother, not for a fact, but I can tell you that there's something there on paper. Implementation is the problem. Because we let people get away. Yes. When the death happens and we are auditing, we are not looking at the top. We are always looking down. We are always blaming the ones who are defenseless, who we can say, my friend, shut up. You understand?
Yeah, I do.
But me, who is the most paid in the hospital and manages all the resources of the hospital, nobody asks me anything. Why won't this happen again?
And the like in quotes, the excuse they gave was no bed.
Exactly.
So it's not like
which doctor sends a bed to the hospital.
Yes, it's not like an individual what is it called, deficiency or lack of skill or knowledge that led to the death. It was a systemic problem.
They said no bed. So if you go to in front of the committee, Mr. CEO, why don't you have enough beds in your hospital? Or if you don't have enough beds in your hospital, what directive have you given to your people? But we don't hear anything. People are being scapegoated for other people's, I would say mismanagement. They didn't manage the case, but they created a system where mismanaging the case is possible. And I think that we should learn from this one. You understand? We should learn from Professor Bedu Akosa. I'm not his size. I don't know anything that he doesn't know. You understand me? But I'm sharing my opinion on that angle that the committee did not want to offend people higher up the ladder. It's easy to offend people lower than you. And nothing will come out of it. People who are close in contact, frontliners, who are overworked and all that. But the ministry itself is supposed to employ enough people So everybody should own their part of the blame.
If you are tracing, then it goes up to the minister.
You understand?
Minister self must answer questions.
Yes.
Yes.
You see, this committee, he's the one asking the questions. You understand? He's the one asking the question. But you see, we'll also get to where we are discussing the public outcry and outreach. The public is the one supposed to hold the minister accountable. He is saying that, look, this is my area. Let me find out what happened. That's why he picked the committee to look into what happened. So minister is saying, okay, this is what happened. And then the committee is saying, let's do A, let's do B, let's do C. Minister will say, okay, let's do it. Or let's not do it, let's do it this way. So he's trying to find a solution to the problem. At the end of the day, when you call him to there should be a higher body who's also saying that, look, this thing is becoming one too many. Why is it happening under your watch? So everybody must be accountable. But the problem is, there are people who are in the system who are at fault, who will never be asked anything. They will hide behind their doors, their office doors, or their desks, and nobody will go and ask them anything. All the media houses, nobody.
And not to cut in, and that's where the solution will come from. Permanent solutions to the problems that we are
Because
facing.
you know that the problem will be stopped right in the management of the hospital. When you put your head, no, you cut it for you. Before it even gets to all the way up, where ministry is now bringing people to come and fact find and all that. It's an indictment on every hospital management that went on. As it's an indictment on the people on duty that day. And if you are not on duty that day, thank God, because anybody on duty would have done the same thing.
It's true.
You understand? You would have done the same thing. Never fall. And I'll tell you this. This is not to throw other people under the bus. But the truth is, I'll tell you, there's a consultant on duty. There's a specialist on duty. Before there's a junior specialist, senior specialist, junior residents on duty. Before it comes to the medical officer. It will shock you that in the chain of people on duty, some people at home, some people at other looking sites, some people, those in the hospital, the very lower staff, they are the ones being named and shamed. That is my problem with that particular aspect of that recommendation. They should name everybody. If you are naming people, giving their address, name everybody. Now, the funny thing is, you have reported these people to the management. You sitting in the ministry, something has happened in the hospital. You sitting in the ministry came in to find what happened over there, and you send it back to the management. Meanwhile, the management is there with the people. Aren't they the ones supposed to answer to you? Do you understand?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yes. If you call the management, come to my office, let's discuss this one. Why is this happening? You are on the ground. But you bypass management into the facility. After you find facts, you say management, go and punish these people. So for me, that part didn't work. It was scapegoating. It was purely, victimizing those on duty. In a system where I'm sure everybody in the hospital has done before.
Oh yeah, that one.
The people who were mentioned, there was no consultant inside. There was no
specialist.
Maybe a specialist. But I'm sure he also has a boss above him, who probably not there. You say, but I wasn't there. But if anything beats a specialist mind, he should call his boss. That's where I stand on this matter. And this is just my humble opinion. This is just my humble opinion on the topic. I think, everybody if we truly want a change, everybody who needs to be called out should have been called out. Okay? And this should have triggered higher consequences in higher areas. Where the public is actually directing their anger. You see, I would say that the ministry sort of directed their attention away from them.
Sure, the personnel.
onto the person, and away from all other people who are higher the ladder. And now everybody is blaming these guys as if they own all the power in the hospital.
It's true.
So that's my point of view. Now, the next one thing that they said was we needed to establish an emergency care fund. Why are you laughing?
Once they establish this,
An emergency care. Let me tell you the function of the fund. Sorry. The excuse was that some of these people are turned away because they don't know if you have money to pay your bills, and you take care of some of these people, and they come and become a liability. You cannot discharge them; they are owing, and you cannot hold them too. So that is why. And I have seen a typical example of such.
yeah.
There was one, she was mentally unstable or mentally challenged woman in town who was knocked down by a car, sustained head injury, and then a fracture of the leg. Was brought to the hospital. We admitted, he needed an amputation. I'm sure you've seen that woman.
Yeah.
And we couldn't do the amputation for her. And then we referred her to where they could, I don't want to mention where they could do the amputation. They refused to take the patient. So we, as for us, we sent it up. We reported to the bosses. Then the two bosses communicated and they came for this lady to the next hospital to do the amputation. The day they finished the amputation, the body was
back. Take your problem.
You understand? And the woman was on the ward. Nurses were feeding with their own money. Occasionally, management would bring food. And then when she recovered, one day she took all her dressings off and decided to go, and she left. That's a systemic failure. If she goes and another car walks over her, now she walks with her hands. And things.
I've seen her in town.
They are saying that because of money and everything that we spend on these people, they need a fund. They need the ministry to establish an emergency care fund. I don't know the details of the fund, who is supposed to pay. How you are supposed to claim the money and all that, yes. But they suggested that there should be that. And I tell you that it already exists.
That's why I was laughing, Dr.
It already exists because of this case, I drew close to the then Mesu, and he told me that, you see, accident. You cannot plan that I'm traveling to Kumasi and I'm putting 5,000 in my pocket in case I get accident. I'll use it. In fact, if you get accident, the rescuers will come and take that 5,000.
Oh yes, it's true.
So the assemblies are supposed to pay at the end of the month. Cases like that.
Is it paid beforehand?
Not beforehand. After
you record it.
Yes, after all the medicines and then the things that you use, the bill should be given to the assemblies.
Okay.
So that they will clear it.
Okay.
So that at every time there's medicine available for any such emergencies, impromptu emergencies. But it's not being paid. So every time hospitals will have to swallow those costs into their own books. And you agree with me that you can use a lot of medications, especially if it's a mass RTA.
A lot.
RTA means road traffic accident for those who don't know. You will have to use a lot, and then some go and refer out, and you not trace them back again. You understand? So I mean, it's in a good place, but I think that on paper it looks nice, but how to actualize it is the problem.
But somebody will ask, government hospital. You see, in Ghana, when we say a buying hospital, it's a government hospital. It means it's state-owned.
Yes, it is.
Yes, so it means that the state must make provisions for some of these things. That's why you're saying is the duty of the district assembly to take up these costs and make sure it's cleared. So cleared to the government or to the hospital?
No, you see, in as much as it's a state-owned hospital, it's also running as an entity.
Okay.
Healthcare is expensive. No two ways about that. So if you do not pay for the medications you are using on somebody, eventually the medications will finish. Those who need it will not get it. So if you are coming from the angle that because it's a government facility Why is another government facility paying you? We have to treat it like a business. So that every time there's top standard care for anybody who needs it. And in order to do that, somebody must pay for the free. So if somebody says something is free, always bear in mind somebody is paying for it. It's just that it's free for you. So it's not, you are not the one paying. Somebody is paying for it. Especially anything healthcare, food, education must be paid. People must earn salary. Somebody is paying. Things must be bought. The world must be cleaned. You understand?
Yeah.
Yes, the walls must be painted. So if they are the government in its own system has saying that okay, the ones running the districts or the municipalities are the municipal and district assemblies, and they mobilize all these funds from the community. And so in that case, if there are any emergency fees, they should take it. Then they should be held accountable if they do not pay. You see, the problem comes back to accountability. The systems have been laid down, and you are not holding anybody accountable.
Yes,
so for me, it's a good suggestion. However, why don't we operationalize or make sure that the existing structures are working? Why are you creating another fund?
Because they are out there.
So who is receiving that fund? Is it the district assembly now who's going to receive that fund? Who's going to pay? Is it government again? Or NHIS? Who's like, you see, the suggestions can come anytime people sit down, they can brainstorm.
Sure.
However, what is the existing agreement? And why is it not working? Why can't we make it work?
Can we make it better?
Exactly.
Can we improve upon it? And boss, it doesn't even come. It boils down to the structures we already have, like the hospitals, the existing ones. We are always fascinated about building new ones. Let's build new ones.
They're taking us to another dimension.
But existing things, because most of our facilities have space. The wards they can be expanded. Existing funds can be improved upon. How can we make it better so that we don't now come and stop this one and come and start a whole new thing that doesn't really, yes, it will come back and it will still add to the books and say, oh, last time when we met, we created a medical fund, but when there's an issue. An issue will come up again one time and they will say, let's create another medical fund. Because why? The one they created formally, it's not working.
It didn't work. So I think that, well, we've made our points on this one. We think that they should make sure the old system works. At the end of the day, all what you see, when it comes to health, especially cases like this, we are all at risk. Nobody is immune. If you are not careful, you'll be very sorry, because if it is not you, it will be your sister or your sister-in-law.
See, doctor, we've seen politicians involved in an accident, and when they face the system, they'll be like, hey, and it's I don't know,
exactly.
I had one top man. He was like, it's like because referring from one place to the other was a challenge. We had to make a lot of calls, and now he understood how the system worked, and when it was affecting him firsthand, he appreciated it. So we are all at risk, as you are saying. That's the truth of the matter.
As far as politicians being involved, I've had a person. I told you that an ambulance situation. Yes, we had certain politicians in an accident, and in politics there are high-ranking people and low-ranking people, and unfortunately the accident was involving both high-ranking and low-ranking people, and so it brought a lot of local politicians around, and the leaders of those who came were insisting that we should refer they had one ambulance there, should refer one particular man immediately to 37. I'm like, no, this man has a fracture, his thigh is fractured, but he's stable. There are people whose head are cracked open and things, and you are saying you are instructing me, the doctor, to do you a favor of sending your high-profile person I told them that, look, if this other man, who is probably the driver or security man, if this man and this man and this man don't leave, this man will not go. So I went to the man and then I explained to him that, look, this is the situation. There are other people who are very critical, and I think they should. The man accepted, agreed. The rest of the people, the Folumba people, they were angry at me.
Agitated.
They angry. I got a very bad name. They called my boss. They called all the bosses, and they all backed me. They leave the guy to do his job.
That's all.
When I turn around, 4 ambulances
have appeared.
So they took all of them at the same time, including the man.
Can you imagine?
So power day.
It would have never happened.
At all. And these people will go, and then these people will die here.
Yes. Nobody cares about
Do you understand? So everybody is subject to the system. Today you may be driving a bigger car, better car, flying, doing something. So you think that, what we are saying, you are immune. There, we can't do much. You fall into the sea or into the bush. So before we get to you, you are a ghost. But it's urgent. Yes.
Very, very.
That is why I waited for the matter to die, for us to sit down, because you have to look at all the facts. The money must be found. If it means that we should go and release some money from somewhere, make it available for the DCs and MCs to be able to pay, or if they are supposed to be tasked to go and mobilize money and separate some for whichever way.
Very
somebody
important.
must do their work.
Very important.
For that aspect to be handled, because it's very, very important. If you're a hospital manager, that is also your worry. You cannot use money that we have gone to markets to go and borrow, because most of the hospitals, they don't pay upfront. They take their medications, they sell them, they pay. So if one pharmaceutical company has imported their medicine or produced their medicine, trusted you enough to give it to you on credit, and you have used it and you don't get your money back, the next time, what are they doing? Who's going to give you?
Supply.
No. And then these same people will come to the hospital and say, when you go to the hospital, there's no medicine.
It's true.
So it's a very good thing, but the approach, I think that I agree with you that we have existing institutions who are responsible. Somebody must make sure that these institutions are doing what they have been put there to do. So that comes back to the accountability.
Yes.
That I would say.
I think that one time I had a similar case, like Charles Amissah's case. A young man who was traveling on the Accra-Kumasi highway was rushed into the emergency units in some government hospital. And I was on duty for a night shift. Young man, you could see that from his dressing, he's doing well. He was driving, had an accident, was brought in by community people and all that. As you said, when there's an accident, they pick wallets, they pick phone. So this person came in
the person
with nothing. After taking everything, they brought him. So had a head injury, open, multiple fractures. We were able to stabilize. Now the referral. Because no matter where you work, if you are not working in a teaching hospital, you need to refer some of these cases.
And fast.
Very fast. And referral is part of the management.
The treatment, yes.
So we did our bandaging, pressure packing, referral. And that's where the challenge is. And if you are the one referring, you will sweat.
Definitely.
You will be making calls. And not to mention names, but we made calls to, the ambulance service. And the first thing they asked was, where are the relatives? We were like, oh,
accident.
this is an accident.
See, that's another problem I have.
No relatives. So maybe you have to come for the case. If the patient gets to there, later on when they come, they said, oh, no patient, no relative there. Then we can't come.
But when they go to accidents, they ask for relatives.
That's why, you see, that it's not initially when we were talking about people not wanting to take cases. Some of these things are the reason. Because now if you take it, it becomes your burden.
No, I think they were asking that because of money. Or?
Yes. I am saying that.
Okay.
Yes. And I'm saying that because the patient was brought to the hospital, now it has become our burden. But if the ambulance service were to be called to the accident scene and they took the patient, nobody will be asking for money. So ideally, as we are talking about emergency fund, then that's why I chipped in this example, because if they are asking about money, who should
pay.
take responsibility for that at that point in time and say, okay,
No, but they are not supposed to charge for emergency cases and then obstetric cases. When I interviewed the woman, that's what she said. But maybe it's because it's a hospital calling. If it's an accident scene calling, they are not going to ask for money.
Yes. But it should be the same, because the hospital, we told you that.
You see, let me not cut you. The problem I have with ambulance service goes into the way it has been structured. Ambulance service is different from Ghanaian service. I don't know if you know that. The structure.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a problem, because without fine, if that community ambulance is supposed to bring cases from the community into the hospital, then it makes sense that they are on their own. But the Ghana Health Service rely heavily on the ambulances, because not every hospital that has an ambulance. In fact, just a few have an ambulance.
A few.
So if somebody is misconducting themselves or saying they will not take the case, they have a different set of rules and priorities from the Ghana Health Service. That's what I have seen from my exposure to them. They are set up. If you don't meet very reasonable people over there in the ambulance station, okay, they can just decide to ignore you and nothing will happen.
Because
why are you going to report them to? When you call your original director, they have their own original director. They have their own director general. So it is a problem for me, because we work together. If I find a case difficult and I'm sending, the transportation of the patient is equally as important as whatever I did for the patient.
Yeah.
Because maybe they may not even arrive there alive.
Yeah. So
the treatment that we are giving to them is equally important. So if somebody decides to delay, refuse, because we have been attacked on the road, so we will not go. Between Krum and Koforidua, that's what they see.
Yes.
That they have been attacked on the road, so they will not go. And you, because you are calling from a hospital, their policy is that if it's a hospital to hospital transfer, make sure that you take money. And it's not an obstetric case. If an obstetric case, don't take money. If it's an accident case from the site. If it's a hospital to hospital transfer,
take money.
Make sure you take money, because their fuel is limited. That was the explanation that the lady gave me. And we are also saying that there are certain cases that we need to stabilize and transfer.
We don't know them from anywhere.
Yes.
They were brought in.
Just like Charles Amisah. You understand? So if I, by mistake, accept that case and put him on my bed and you leave, and I call the next ambulance, actually, I want to refer this case, they will not take.
It's true. First hand experience.
You understand? So me, I feel that if necessary, people should sit down and merge the two. They should find a place in the health system where maybe the minister, I don't know, because the minister is in charge of, is sitting on top of the organogram before there's Ghana Health Service and all the other ones coming.
Oh, okay.
So maybe the minister should sit down and in the minister's office find somebody that they're able to report to. But that is even too high. I mean, how will you know that person's number? How can you report some? Because we don't know anybody to report.
If you call and they say you can't come, that's the end of it.
We don't know anybody.
Saying they act more like a security group than health. Because I mean, if you're training, you know that there are certain cases you just stabilize and move on to a bigger facility. But it looks like to them, once the person has come to your hospital, let's just say, once you're stabilizing and you are moving, you are supposed to find the patient's relative and the hospital that they are going to. Have you called the hospital? So there are sometimes when you call the hospital and the hospital agrees, they ask you to also give them the number.
They will call and confirm.
Yes. It's because of the system they are running with, you see. And as you said, there are some people that when you say, okay, do ABC, it's like they can't really, if there's a situation at hand where we need to, try something and do something, they want to stick strictly to the system. And the system says that they have to support with fuel. That's what they tell you. That the money they are charging, they're asking for a relative because they have to support fuel. Okay, and at that point on duty, the nurses don't have. Where you want to find the money? If I'm on duty and I don't have money on me, sometimes you have to collect money from people on duty.
Aside money on you, it could probably be that when the person came, whatever you've done for the person,
he hasn't even paid.
Yes. Yes. And everybody must, suffer some. Sometimes, squeeze him or herself to help the patient.
It boils down to the fact that their priorities are different from the priorities of the Ghana Health Service, or not Ghana Health Service, like the health service, because their priorities to
instructions.
Yes, they have their own instructions. That if the person is not an accident victim, that you are going to the site, and it's not an obstetric case that you are going to pick, do A, B, C, D.
Yes.
And they are sticking to that. Yes. In fact, when you go there physically to call them, you tell you call control. You understand? Or when you know somebody and you call them to come in, they tell you call control, which does not make sense. You are trying to buy time. If everybody is calling control, the number is even busy.
Jammed. Sometimes you call the control self, control no the pick.
So there's a situation where the control will tell you, even though you are seeing an ambulance, that there's no ambulance.
Yeah. You call this, maybe you know somebody at the station. You call Charlie. Is your ambulance available? Oh yeah, we are here. Okay, we need an ambulance. Okay, call control and let them dispatch us. You call control will tell you.
There's no ambulance.
Wow.
So it's a problem. I don't know. You see, and we'll come to the next point very soon. I don't know who brought that control idea. Their control is supposed to coordinate. Regional control is supposed to coordinate the ambulance. Maybe assume it's sport, so they can call someone to come and pick the case and that sort of thing. And now the control is the one who is responsible to receiving calls, even though the ambulances are not at the control. So, in my humble opinion, they should attach these ambulances to the hospitals.
That's all.
Let these people be part of the health system. Let them see what we are seeing and then decide that they will not go, because we have to call control.
Your class in the doors too much. Protocol, call this and the number will not fret.
As if the patient is your relative.
Hey.
I said I had a case, 30 minutes I was on the phone. And I should be attending to the patient. So maybe we'll discuss ambulance problems or
Charlie?
I've had cases where I need to refer a pregnant woman. You call control and control said there's no ambulance. Like that. And then they say like, oh, that ambulance has been reserved for the children doing 6 month operation. It's not like their 6th month, it was like 5th month or something.
Hey.
Going to do rehearsals, so they've kept the ambulance there so that if someone calls
So the priorities, you see what I'm saying? You see the priorities? Yes. There are people who are running the system. You see, so if those ambulances are not meant for the hospitals, let's equip the hospital. If every hospital. But I remember when this ambulance came, those days, they said that nobody should use their personal ambulance. They should call them. I don't know if you remember. Yes. They were on us. Who asked you to now? Now that they have relaxed and people's ambulances are rusty, now they are saying that ambulance now say yes, ambulance is not available. You see, so maybe we should let the ambulance go. We mean them chairs. This is not about them. So the fund, I think we've had our say. The next recommendation was that there should be a mandatory emergency care for everybody, regardless of availability of money, availability of hospital bed.
Okay.
That was the
mandatory emergency care. Fine.
There should be, there should be a document on it, so that if you refuse, then that document can be used to prosecute you.
So it makes sense. But as we stated earlier, there are protocols and policies already existing. So it is mandated it's already mandated. It's not now that we are supposed to make it mandatory.
Okay, fine. They are saying that, fine, you owe the patient of a certain care. That is if you have seen the patient. If you haven't seen the patient, then you can say, oh, I didn't. So they are saying that stabilization before referral.
Yes.
Not necessarily emergency.
Yes.
If the case, you have mandated to stabilize the case before you refer.
Okay, it makes sense.
Whether in the ambulance, whether in the taxi, wherever. See the case, stabilize them, and refer. If you don't do that, you are at fault.
It makes sense.
When it's something they have to like keep the root, it should be the norm.
Yeah, but if you leave the ordinary man,
It won't work.
so for me, if it comes from the ministry, then we will not even know about it. Whatever paper they want us to, it comes from the ministry. We probably know because we all work in the ministry. But I'm not sure we know the policies of the ministry verbatim. We don't. Or on top of our head. I said maybe you are going for a certain interview, you have to read, then you go and read. But I think if the ministry ensures that the various facilities, they have their policies. Ministry comes up with a policy. Ensures that the various facility managers are putting policies there.
Implementing it.
Yes. You understand? That is where the rubber meets the road, or the tire touches the road. It's in the hospital managers and their members. Show us your policy on this one. And test the policies. Send somebody there. And let's see how they handle it. You understand? But we'll go and pick best practices from Canada or Jamaica, or then we'll kind of put it on top of Ghana situation. Then the policy is on paper, and nobody even knows about it. So for me, it's a good recommendation once again. I feel that the ministry, if they come up with a policy, they should drill it down and inspect it.
And make available what it would take to
No, the
ensure.
hospital management has that responsibility.
Okay.
Not the ministry.
Okay.
They manage the funds of the hospital. You understand me?
Okay.
There are certain things above them. But this one, I'm sure that if they give it to them, they can do it. Emergency stabilization area, where when the ambulance comes and there's no bed, you go and park, and somebody is on duty over
there.
Not at the emergency. You understand?
Yes.
Simple. Such that stabilize, move, and then possibly they can put a call center there that will make sure that you are going to the next available facility. For me, that's where I think we should be going.
Yes, it makes sense.
You the ambulance, because you see when the ambulance people are transporting the case and it's deteriorating, you're supposed to enter the nearest facility.
Yes, that's their protocol.
And the excuse should not be that
there's
no bed or something, or we cannot see because you are busy. So there should be an emergency stabilization center in the hospital, even if it is in the emergency.
Yes, with
one specific person assigned to that place. If there's no work, you can join the emergency people. Once your work comes, you move. You and your nurse and your small people, you go there for that day. You stabilize cases, you send, then you come back and join the team. I think this must be done. You shouldn't leave it to individuals,
It can be, yes.
Okay.
It's feasible.
I think this one will agree, because it really does not exist. The next thing is the better coordination of hospital bed management through electronic system. I lose me now. Let me further expand on this one. They are saying that the way the ambulance people have a control center, they demand that you should have a control center who is monitoring the beds in the hospitals, so that nobody will say somewhere and say there's no bed when there's a bed. So maybe there's a hospital bed system. When you discharge, then it will become vacant. Over there at the control. So when you are calling to refer, you don't call the hospital, you call the control. The control will say, okay, there's a bed in Ridge. So go to Ridge. Then when you get there, you will have no option because control sent you.
But doesn't still fall in the bureaucracy we are talking about, that the processes will be long. And I don't see how it's going to be effective.
Explain
electronically managing beds at the hospital. Because see, the electronic stuff, we get problem with that. Even our systems, the systems we used to run the
health system.
yes, sometimes it faces so much challenges, and sometimes there's even light out without plants. So it can be like a sure way. Well, it can probably help manage the beds in the system. But
Okay, let's say for example in teaching hospitals and regional hospitals.
For example, in teaching hospitals, and that if you want to refer a case to
you call the control center.
Call the control center.
Then they assure you that there's a bed here, so go.
In the same hospital, it doesn't even like how much more.
I don't see the feasibility. Me, honestly, I don't see.
Is it because it's the electronic?
No, not because the person going to sit somewhere and say there is a bed here.
No, but you see, the system is such that will be such that when you discharge the patient or send the patient out on your PC, on your health information system, it will reflect there.
But by the time I'm discharging the patient and it's reflecting, see, when we talk about the teaching hospital and the regional hospitals, we are talking about a place that receives referral from all over.
So they will go to the control before they come.
Because see,
so in that case, the referrals will go to the control first.
So what happens?
Check for vacancies.
2 calls and there's one there.
Oh, that one there. So I need the one who calls first, because the 2 calls will not go in at the same time.
There again, it becomes problematic.
Situations where a case comes in, you start seeing the case and managing
before you admit.
It's registered.
Yes.
Affect and appear on the system.
Yes.
There are like several instances where a client will come in.
No, it's somebody who is there to enter. And then those
like real time. This one is going, this one is coming.
Listen. Okay, I would say that this is an idea. But when we start operating it, it will be perfected. Where somebody who is not even a health personnel, maybe records personnel, would quickly take the details of the person, enter, and admit the person. Once the person has.
I'm saying there are instances where the person you are going to take the details from is the person we are seeing.
And so John Doe.
Like,
John Doe.
No, not even John Doe. The person can even communicate, but the person is in severe pain that we are basically attending to the person. How are you now coming to take details from the person? Because you have to wait.
Okay, maybe you don't need the patient's details.
It can work, but
you need the patient's insurance card or some card.
Me, I think it can work, but it will still have its limitations.
It's not that I agree. I'm just playing.
I know it will work, but it will still have its limitations, because if I'm at the hospital, sometimes we have cases. Sometimes patients have left. They've not been able to pay their bills.
Because of that, you can't discharge.
Because of that, whilst you are trying to discharge, they are telling the patient is owing. So are we saying that we'll wait for the patient to come and pay before we discharge? Before now, control say there is a bed. But in real time, bed in the hole. So it is the people at the departments, the various departments, that can say that there is bed.
So okay, in that case, who do we place the bed management responsibility on? Because you see, this problem is not so much of if we are talking about a certain number of beds. A hospital is called the Blue Emergency. If we say we are expanding it, we expand it the whole Accra, and they will do stupid food because all referrals from the country comes in. So the problem is not availability per se, it's management of the bed. Now, you have worked in emergency before. You have worked in emergency before. And you want to transfer out a case. And the ward is saying they are not accepting, or there's no bed over there. Okay? Before it has happened to you before.
Sure.
And then you keep the case in the emergency. That also makes you say no bed to somebody who is also coming in.
It's true.
So it's a bed management situation. Who should be responsible in managing the beds, especially at the emergency?
So I think the managers of the hospital, like when
their offices.
No, not from their offices, but they have to put policies in place and assign people who are specifically they're like the administrators or like somebody to be responsible for the management of the beds. If we now design an electronic system,
no, leave that one. You are talking about who? Because you've disagreed, and that one is there. Now you are saying that if we remove that one from it, which system are we putting in to take care of? Because what they have raised is a problem.
So I think that the hospital is run in shifts, and every shift has its leaders or in charges. So at a point in time, those who are on duty have their boss, like somebody who is at top, and so then there should be a constant communication between the various departments, so that if I have a case at the emergency, I've stabilized and I'm sending to the ward. Sometimes as the in charge or something, you have to move out of the emergency and go to the ward and go and say, but you people, you have bed. Why are you saying you don't have bed? My friend, bring the cases.
It's 11, right?
So
Says who admissions.
So I think that the in charges or the senior most on duty at that point in time should be responsible for making sure that transient outs are made, smoothly for availability of beds at the emergency. That's what I think.
Makumi, that will work in a smaller hospital.
Okay.
Where you is the in charge, somebody safe knows you on the ward. But in a big hospital like Kolebu, one department is a whole hospital elsewhere. And the emergency fits surgical and medical, orthopedic. So you will not be popular over there to go and order anybody. They don't know you. They listen. They answer to a different human being. There are nobody there. So this your solution will be problematic in a bigger hospital, where it is on the share will of somebody and the authority of somebody, where the needful will be done. So we need to think about it in a systemic way. Where whether somebody is there or somebody is not there, whoever is creating the blockade will have to answer. Okay, so I don't know if it's Professor Akosa said that. Sometimes the patient is okay. Like if you go to the teaching hospital, the patient should not be well, fully recovered before you discharge the person. The person was referred to you from in Sawom or Nkoko with, let's say, a bad decompensated liver disease or heart failure disease. You have solved the problem. The person is out of distress. Refer back to Nkoko.
Okay.
So that you can free the bed. They can continue with the treatment at their level.
Makes sense.
You understand me? Instead of saying that, these people are stable, but they are not recovered. And they are like 4 or 5 occupying the bed. You raise their cellulitis as hanging in line. No, did you know about common? You understand? And then it's causing a blockade at the emergency. And truly, sometimes the ward is full. So, I agree to that extent that for such high, traffic hospitals, where the whole country, when somebody is having a problem, they refer to, such things can be done. If you are referred from regional hospital in Koforidua or in Accra or in some other region, Cape Coast, and the emergency has been removed, and the specialist there can communicate with the specialist in Kolebu to ascertain if the case is manageable, then the ambulance should come for you to go and continue the care over there. So you are fine to go home, so that we can admit somebody.
It's more.
But having said that, that has not solved the problem.
Yes, I was going to say
that creates beds. Now, if you create a bed and somebody has decided that he wants to see 8 people in the ward, so Oba, when it's 8 on GB1, how? Because that is the problem. I've had somebody hang a phone up on me, an elderly woman from Kolebu.
But is that real time? No, like there are beds, but somebody will say there are no beds.
It happens.
I'm just trying to make it, because I know it happens, but like, is it?
No, it's not a senior man. On the contrary, sorry. It is those down there. If you call and you get somebody, a house officer or some nurse, low rank nurse, who doesn't want to work because she thinks she's tired. She's the one who will tell you, and the boss doesn't even know anything about it. These are original hospitals. It happens there. You call the triage unit. Somebody will tell you there's no bed. The moment you call the boss, you tell you, oh, bring the case. If you call the medical director, clinical coordinator, somebody, oh, bring the case. Then you go there and blast. And then when you call them, they will say, okay. You understand? So people intentionally, you see, if you have not worked the system, maybe you will not understand. There are people, I called a Kolebu. I don't know whether it's surgical or orthopedic, a case that we were referring from regional hospital. And then the woman just, no, we can't take it. I said, oh, madam, I was trying to make sense. She hung the call. I called her back several times. She didn't mind me cry.
He bore himself.
Be like, oh, hold on, I'm coming.
She hung up because there's no way I'll find her out. Even no matter who I report to, she can deny it. It's not her. So that is why I'm saying that we need to get those voices recorded. And it is mandatory that when you pick such a call, you call your name and your rank and what ward that you are working. Even possibly the date. So that it is traceable. Because the one who is the CEO will not be the one to pick the calls.
Yeah.
But if I come and I make a claim, and there should be an avenue for reporting such cases. Otherwise, then, if you do it and I can't report to you, me, who do I know in calling that I can report to?
Yeah.
There should be an avenue where phone number or a health workers platform where such cases can be reported. But if it's a region, I know people that I can report. But if it's outside the region, who are you going to report to? That you are sending a case and they are saying that they will not take. And the one who is responsible for the hospital, as I was alluding to earlier, will not do that. If he's the one receiving the call, even if there's no bed, you find a way of creating a space for you because he knows that his job is on the line. And you who is down there is creating the problem for them. So I feel that it is the work, I agree with you, the responsibility of bed management is the person who is in charge of the ward. Okay? Whoever is in charge of the shift must make sure that beds are available. If your bed space is filling up and is full, you need to call a doctor to come and make some discharges or referrals back or something. If there's any circumstance where emergency is saying they want to bring and you are saying you are full, somebody must be held responsible. You have been tasked with managing the beds. Why is the bed full? Come and explain to management why the beds are full when you are supposed to manage them. It will vanish. I'm telling you. It will vanish. But the idea that we should take people on the ground and in plastic chairs is not tenable.
Yeah.
It's not. For me, I don't agree.
I
don't agree because certain cases you cannot sit down. With this Charles Amisah, he cannot sit down. And if you put him on the floor and he recovers, you even pick another infection.
Bleeding, sure.
That was even kill the person. If you get some nosocomial into the vein, the blood system. So we should, and this also does not mean that there will not be bed shortages. But the sensitivity of the actions, you see, it leads to the point where certain health professionals, when you go to certain hospitals, they reserve 1 or 2 beds for health professionals. Because they know that when the beds get full and their colleagues come, they will not get anywhere. But we shouldn't get it. Collective emergency has been expanded. Pow! Yes, when we were in school, it was a very small place. Now they've created the accident emergency. Before the surgical and medical emergency, separated the two. So I think that with appropriate bed monitoring, and then bed management and monitoring of them, and holding people accountable. Maybe every morning when they do a meeting, they are supposed to tell us the bed situation. This number of cases are moving from here to here. This number of cases came, you discharge this one, refer. So that when decisions are being taken, we have the data. We know that, okay, this ward needs expansion. Because the traffic here is more than the traffic here. So that managers will now take decisions using those data. Do you understand? But as it were, nobody is responsible. When the call comes, the closest to the phone will pick the phone.
Yeah.
No identification, nothing. You just see, they tell you what they want to tell you, they hang up. But they don't know that it could be their relative on the other side. You understand? So the best, as we have said from the beginning, the systems are there. Somebody sitting somewhere will not know the situation on the ground. And 4 or 5 people will come and meet on the same bed because one bed is available.
Yeah.
And there will be chaos. So let hospital managers manage the hospital. Let hospital managers manage the hospital.
People should be held accountable.
And hold them accountable. That brings us to the conversation of the Confanoti CEO who was suspended some few weeks ago, pending, undergoing investigation. Somebody will say he was trying to manage his situation, but the minister and the ministry found it offensive. What is your take on that? You know the story.
I know.
Where he put out a communique that what happened actually, from listening to the commentary, was that he met with the whole region, the board, the private hospitals, some big hospitals around who can take, and said that, look, the situation at our emergency is that our emergency is full. And so for a day, 24 hours, we are going to, hold admissions, decongest the place, and we open the next day. So how many will your hospital be able to take? This one say 10, this one say 15. You have 12 beds. They put everything together. The board and everybody agreed. And he sent out a letter. And then when the letter got to the media, minister also sent him a letter to come and explain to him why. When you went, you're said to have agreed to the fact that he disobeyed the president's directive. And because of that, he's gone on suspension. And he's pending investigation as we speak. I've not heard it, the last about it. And what is your general take on that?
So, first off, I think that I agree with the doctor, the CEO, because if the president has given a directive that we shouldn't turn away emergency cases because of no bed, he is not turning away any case, but he is making.
But he's saying they shouldn't come. That's a way of turning.
They say don't come, but I've made provisions that you can go here, and we are going to liaise with the doctors or the professionals there to make sure you are taken care of. That is what is it called? A structured
proactiveness.
Yes, way of saying that, okay, we don't have the space to accommodate you, but we have made way for you, not like when you come. Because the truth of the matter is that sometimes I was telling somebody that the cases that will go to Confanoche as emergency, they are not cases that you can tell the patient to go and sit
in a wheelchair,
or in a wheelchair, or sit in a plastic chair, or go and lie on the floor to be taken care of. These are cases that needs probably specialized bed, cardiac bed, needs something, propping up and all that. So it means that the man or the board sat down, thought about the best way to help the patient and decongest, because the truth of the matter is that the place is congested, so that now we can make available space for the people that are coming in.
Okay, you finish.
So I think that the minister should have sat down with them, discuss the way forward, understand their point, where they are coming from, and why they are implementing what.
But what do you say to people who also say that why didn't he engage
the minister
in his decision making?
I don't. That one I don't know.
So that's where they are coming from. That if you are such a big hospital, if you are going to do such a thing, why is it that the minister does not know and there's a letter out?
No, but then he met with regional coordinators or people in the region. Not the people in the region. Doesn't the minister have a representative in the region?
No, but no, that's not it.
Yes.
The teaching hospitals are directly under the Ministry of Health. They are not under Ghana Health Service.
So they communicate to the ministry.
They are directly under the ministry. So that's why they have CEOs. They don't have directors and things like that. So if you are going to take such a drastic measure, bearing in mind the recent happenings
and the directive of the president.
Why is it that you did not send a letter first to the minister asking for his approval or asking for his opinion before putting it out?
Well, I think that because he had made provisions for, or the board had made provisions for patients that would have come to Confanoche, in their own wisdom, they are not outrightly rejecting patients, like contradicting what the president said. Probably that's what they thought initially. That okay, we are going to put systems in place to accommodate, but not Confanoche. So maybe since there were provisions and all that.
But whether you like it or not, that's a major decision. So that's a major decision. It's not, you are not telling patients away directly saying go leave the hospital, but you are saying that don't come. Doesn't the minister need to know about it?
I think he needs to know.
Consult the president about it before you go ahead. That is the conversation out there. That you can't do that. I mean, if you want to take such a drastic situation, and what if the people they go there and the emergency is bigger than them? Then what happens? Or if somebody also dies out of all this because they didn't hear it on social media or something, doesn't it boil down to the same thing? Why is the minister hearing about it on social media?
That one is not right. I think the chain of communication should have gone through the minister.
Okay. I would say that if that protocol exists for the CEO to follow, and he did not follow, then he has faulted. If that protocol exists, that any major decision you want to take as a CEO, because mind you, a CEO is not employed to be asking for permission. You understand? He's there to manage the facility to the best of his knowledge. So that is why, in my opinion, he did not seek.
And has a board.
Yes, he did not seek approval from the minister, but rather the board. You are not supposed to break protocol and go directly to minister. No. If you have a problem, there are people you go to, and then they will also carry it. But if there's that chain of command exists, that for certain decisions, you need to seek approval from minister or even president before you do it, and he did not go according to that protocol, then he has made a mistake. Okay. However, if it did not exist, and the protocol is that if he wants to take such a big decision, he's supposed to go to the board with his problem. The board will suggest everything, constitute, those kind of find a solution as a management. Then the minister, why? You understand?
Yeah.
With me, I don't know the facts. It's high level thing. Why is he now making it look like the CEO has done something? I think I have an idea, because then it becomes a political thing.
Sure.
But why is it? Because if no matter the decision magnitude, if the protocols are there that look, you can take any decision as long as the board approves, and the board did not say, let's copy minister. You understand? Or let's seek. With me, I don't know, so I can't say.
Because if there was, you would have.
No, because if there was, then it means there are other requests to come in directly.
But you see, that's what I'm saying, that You can take you can take certain, not minor, certain major decisions, which will affect, people in the hospital. Let's do this, let's do that, spend money. But even in spending money, when you get to a certain threshold amount,
Consult.
you can't spend it in your own, authority, unless you seek approval. That's why I'm laying that preamble down. That if he exists, whether he knows or not, does not matter.
Sure.
Yes. So if it exists, he did not do it, then he merits the suspension and investigation. Even that one, I have a problem. What are you investigating?
Success.
And the suspension, like,
Anything that happens, it has to be an
to see whether there was truly congestion over there. Is there truly a congestion over there? Couldn't he have done any other thing about it? But for me, if there are no laid down protocol procedures, if he sought the board and the board is who he's supposed to seek, and the board decided that let's find other alternative hospitals, and that was done, and he puts out a communication. I think, the minister should calm down.
Yeah.
He should calm down. And even if he called him, what I don't understand the whole thing is, he suspended him on social media. Instead of you to address the man's office. We that you are in the social media, what is our problem? If the man has been summoned to the minister's office, if the man has been suspended, how does it benefit us?
You are punishing someone for a mistake and you are doing the same mistake.
Exactly.
Because he said you only found out about that decision on social media.
So maybe he sent him the letter, but he also put it on social media.
They have their reasons. Everything they do is for
the public to also see.
Yes.
No, but you see, things like queries and things, they are official documents. Yeah. The man's announcement was for the general public. So if he puts it out in social media,
it's right.
That is who the thing was addressed to.
Yeah, even in social media, it was the announcement.
That's what I'm saying. His announcement was for the general public. But this man's query and sermons and everything, it's not for us.
It's to a person.
It's to him. And he's your direct subordinate. You know his office address. You have his phone number. You understand me? So that is where I find it a bit, a bit questionable.
Yeah.
That why is his sermons on the social media? Why is his query and suspension
public favor
on social media?
To hail them, you are doing good job. I suspend.
But how is this a good job?
Oh, I mean, it makes him feel good. That's like, oh yeah, I best suspend. But those things.
It makes who feel good? Who?
Politicians.
It makes them feel good. But this is not about you feeling good.
No, look good in the eyes of. You see, the thing is that for a long time, a lot of people say the health system. So if they come out and say, I've suspended this, I've done this,
and that solved the problem.
To them, in their eyes, they are working by suspending, but that doesn't solve the problem. That's why I'm saying that to have public favor, for the people to hail you and say, Minister, why are there? Honorable, why? Minister, why are there? But it doesn't really have an impact to how the system is run and what the problems are and how to solve it. So maybe that's why I even got the people infuriated, the doctors infuriated, because of how they went about the whole situation, making the CEO look like a criminal or a very bad person. So I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
I also think, I don't know if it's a Ghana thing but then once you are being asked to, you have a certain position and you're asked to step aside so they do investigation on a certain matter, everybody assumes you are guilty of whatever you are being accused.
Okay.
Because you ask him to step aside, so you investigate, meaning you could still call him back that, after investigation, so
there's no issue.
Shouldn't even be
in the public.
Someone, or it's just that maybe because of the position you occupy, it's going to interfere
with the investigation.
We are going to step aside, let's do our investigation. If you were in the right, come back and do your job. But so this is not something that should scare somebody for you to say that, oh, if I do this, people will say I'm working. I mean, this person did this thing. Suspension is not a punishment.
Should it be in the public domain in the first
That's what I'm
place?
saying. It shouldn't be. First of all, it shouldn't be. And even if it's in that suspension that you are trying to make it look like you are working, it's not something that is. I don't know. I don't know how to put it. That suspension isn't.
But after 2 weeks, I think he was suspended for 2 weeks.
Yes.
But then after 2 weeks, he's coming back, or he will not come back.
We don't know. We've not heard about it.
I think it was during the suspension, and there was also a letter from, I think, the suspended CEO, and there was also a whole issue about he's been suspended. Why is he using the hospital's letterhead? And
Hey.
oh yeah.
I
think
said,
when the doctors went on strike, he wrote
that's
to
true.
return to work. And there was also another brouhaha on he's been suspended. How does he still have access to?
But it's people who wrote the letter for him. He's not the one who physically went there to go and write the letter.
Oh.
And he was even trying to help, the minister bring the people back. But what do you make about the strike, the doctor's strike?
See, I think that anything that the health professionals do, it's the patient that suffers. And honestly, if the patient who doesn't really have anything to do with all these things is the one bearing all the consequences, then it's not right.
But in this equation, everybody is playing to the patient.
Yeah.
Or you haven't seen it.
Trying to make the patient.
The boss of the minister is the public. You understand? You understand? It's the general public. The general public is who right now, like the attention is on to everybody to see that, oh, you are doing the work, and they are the patients. In fact, even we ourselves, we are patients. The minister himself is a patient. Potentially, everybody is a patient.
Oh, but
You understand?
yes.
But I don't think the general public know the power they have. You understand? That is why we are having all these things. Because when doctors, and this is not in this particular situation, when doctors go on strike, I always wonder why the general public attack the doctors and not the politicians. Because the politicians, you have decided that the politicians should take hold of the country and run every system, including the health system, on your behalf.
Yeah.
Not the doctors. The doctors have been employed by those same politicians to take care of you. And then maybe there's a misunderstanding between the employer and the employee, and they are saying that, look, if you don't pay us, say a certain money, we are not going.
And strike is illegal, something that you can do.
Instead of you, who I see, to side with me, so that I'll get what I want, and then I'll come back to work. You are all going to join the guy that you have put in power, who you can remove from power.
Oh, but how does the public or join the minister?
No, they I remember in the past, everybody was insulting the doctors in the public. And I'm to say, and they are the ones who take care of them.
They are still saying
Exactly. No, it's on the back of that.
Yeah.
Do you understand? They're still saying that doctors are this, nurses are that. At the end of the day, the politician have his 4 years or 8 years and go to opposition. The doctor is still there for you.
That's it.
You understand? The doctor is not voted. So I always wonder that they don't know that they have the power to make the government listen to what the doctors are saying, for them to change their ways. Because if they know that people are angry at us, and if you are not careful, next 4 years we will go, they will change their stance. But if they say that, they direct the attention to the doctors, and the public joins you, you end up insulting the doctor. At the end of the day, you come back and sit in front of the same doctors. You understand?
Yes.
So it baffles me a little bit, because the power, as we have seen in this particular case, everybody is playing to the electorate, the voting public. That, see, I'm even suspending my own CEO, who I put there, because he's not doing the right thing. So I'm doing the right
I'm
thing.
doing the work.
And then the CEO is saying, I'm also trying to protect the public. So if you are saying that it's at the end of the day, the public that suffers, public has the power not to.
But you see, the thing is that at that point in
At that
time,
material time.
yes, at that material time, the people can't really do much. They can
So-
complain, but for the few times or most of the times that health professionals have gone on strike, when the public talk, they tell the government to meet the needs of the.
No.
Oh, me, I've been hearing it.
It's not the predominant rhetoric that people make.
Especially when it comes to the health sector. Every time
The predominant echo that you hear is
it's from their
like
profession.
what they want, then that kind of thing. But you see, in this particular case, that's the minister suspended the CEO. What do you suggest that the doctor should have done if you don't agree?
So I think that first off, they were not happy with the fact that the minister suspended the CEO on the grounds of or on the basis that they said the emergency was full, which was the situation at hand. So I must say Assembly by the Anona Eka. So first, you have to sit down. That's why I'm saying that it's a wrong approach when it comes to just suspend and we say we've gone on strike, because two wrongs doesn't make a right. Or
So what should they have done? That's my question to you.
that's what I'm saying, that they have management.
The manager, the chief manager is
But they're still managing. They're still
There's
managing.
no manager over there. The boss is gone. There's no new boss.
But
So what they should engage
among the
minister.
doctors, they have president before the CEO comes. So I think they should engage the ministry and give them an ultimatum, but have a way of dealing with things, because if you are going to solve everything by going on strike, now they've come back, but I don't know
Somebody may
if
have
they
died.
found the solution. I don't know if the solution or the CEO has been reinstated, but yes, but during that
Why is
period
he
of
back?
time,
We don't know.
we don't know whether he's back or not. But during that period of time, many lives would have been lost.
Oh, but they made.
Ask the doctors to resume work. Not the CEO should be.
Yes, I'm saying that the doctors have gone back to work. They went on strike for a particular cause, that they want their CEO to be reinstated. When they went on the strike, did they find that solution? Was the CEO reinstated? No.
Only prompting you that the strike ended because they are
Assassinating.
So left to them.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying, that there are better ways of.
So suggest one for us.
But Assassinating coming in is still negotiation, because he will sit down with them, and because they will hear him.
But because they went on strike, that's why Santini spoke on it. So if they hadn't gone on strike, Santini is not coming in. So are you suggesting that the strike was okay?
I'm saying that I could have been a patient at that point in time.
So if you are a doctor, you are the head of the doctors in that Confanochi Doctors Association. What is the solution other than the strike? That's what I'm asking. What would you suggest they should have done instead of going on the strike? Do you understand my question?
I get
but
your
the
question.
answer no dey.
Is the answer I'm trying to think of, because apart from
all the answers you could think about won't be as effective as the strike.
You see, the problem is they wanted to get to the minister. That is the problem. But they couldn't have gotten to the minister any other way. Even with the strike, they didn't get to the minister to sit down and say, look, what is the problem? This is what I'm trying to achieve. So you indulge me. It's just for 2 weeks. You come back. Say the Mokan. Kasa.
No,
I'm saying the strike was necessary. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They are trying to get the attention of the minister, and the only way they know how is to go on strike, to express their grievance. What is going on? We are not in agreement. People will die. If that one day the hospital was closed, I'm sure the strike lasted for more than 1 day.
3 days or so.
If the hospital was closed for that one day, the next day it would have opened. Everybody
Sure.
will come to work.
Sure.
Now you say we shouldn't close. You suspend somebody, they go on strike for
strike.
3 days.
Patients are turned away. Patients who could have even been seen at the
Exactly. Until the arrangement that were made all were forward. Until His Majesty came in, they weren't listening to anybody. If you will not sit down with them. So for me, if you say that the patient suffered at the end of the day, you are right. But what else could they have done? They were left with, because the approach was confrontational.
Yeah.
The approach is, if somebody confronts you,
Yeah.
you should see how you defend yourself. He's not willing to dialogue, because for me, my comment on the whole situation is that even if the protocols exist, he made a mistake and he did what he did. If I'm in the position of minister, you call him to your office, you tell him, look, you can't do this thing. However, this is how you should approach it. You give a clear guidelines to him. Then he goes back to his board. This is what the minister has said, so let's do it. People make mistakes. Or even if it's not a mistake, that is how you, as a minister, want the ministry to run.
These are professionals.
Yes.
You reason with them.
Sit down and talk to them. And let them tell you, oh, this thing will not work. This will work. But I want you to do. You do this. You understand? So that the problems of strike and everything can be avoided. At the end of the day, what you are trying to stop, you actually made it happen.
Sure.
You understand me? So I think his approach, the minister's approach, could have been better at handling these things. It is not out of the blue that he did what he did. And even if it is out of the blue, you even saw it and stopped it. A simple phone call. You see, we would not hear of this.
Anything.
A simple call. You know what? Write another letter and suspend and come to my office. Let's discuss this thing before you go ahead. We have solved all the problems. You tell him what to do. I'm not sure he will say, oh, I won't do it or get away. Or no. Then what you want will now be put out in a very quiet and clean manner. No strike, no problems. But this is somebody who was trying to be proactive, create beds. The bed management, that's why I brought him in. You know, to prevent a Charles Amisah situation.
Yes.
And this is where it landed him. So you have to also put, you know, the profit, because this thing is not just done in Ghana. This closing of emergency is done elsewhere too. When you have a particular systemic problem, you do what the man did. It's best practice. In other circles, it is done coordinatedly, and it is for 24 hours. And you have been in a situation where a particular day, people don't really even come to the hospital like that. So in such a case, you pray for a quiet duty so that the day will pass. Cases will not really, you know, people will not really suffer. The problem is sort of a bit solved in a certain way. Then we start. But if you will not have it as you are the minister, then tell us what you have. Because right now you have suspended the man. He's gone. The people have come back to them. There's still no solution.
No solution. And the problem still exists.
He attempted a solution. So what is your solution as the leader of the team? So that is a little bit. So as far as Charles Amissah's death is concerned, it's a very tragic death. But it has really put us. But you see, one thing I fear is that if you are not careful, all these things will blow by. And then in the next few weeks, it will go into history.
Go back to the same.
It will go into history. In, I think 2012 or when? Let me check the date. 2018. A certain 70-year-old man. His name is Prince Anthony Pukwe Champo. Also died when he had an emergency. Let me read it then. Prince Anthony Pukwe Champo, a 70-year-old businessman, reportedly died after being turned away by 7 hospitals in Accra because there were allegedly no beds available. Facilities mentioned in the report include Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Greater Accra Regional Hospital, Police Hospital, Lekma, His family reportedly drove around for about 4 hours seeking emergency admission before he died in a car at Lekwa Hospital in Teshi. The case shocked the country because it exposed one, poor emergency coordination, lack of bed tracking system. That's what you were talking. Weak referral system, overcrowding in hospital. So this also led to a debate and all that. So 2018 it happened, and trust me, these are the ones that have been in the public, that family members have gone on radio and made noise.
Make noise.
There are a lot of quiet ones under the radar. Pregnant women and all those people.
A lot.
You understand? So the problem exists. Identifying the problem, naming it, and calling it what it is, it exists. The solution is absent. After we make the noise in 2018, we kept quiet for Charles Amisah to die. And we are here in the same spot talking about it.
It's the same problems.
So as far as Ghana is concerned, don't get an emergency that demands emergency help.
Or you go die.
You live back.
You go die. I've always said this thing. Ghana, cardiac arrest today. But who's in cardiac arrest?
The cardiac arrest is even too far. Our emergency system right now, with indicted people and things, name have been mentioned. Solutions have been put across. But where do you go from here?
If you've worked in the system, I think we can name particular problems and the solutions are clear. Like to you, you can say, but why don't we have this and that? If you are a personnel in the system and you face the system, sometimes you the personnel stuff, you get frustrated. And you ask questions that, but why don't we have this? Which, these are things that can be bought or can be acquired. So why don't we have them? By who need the
That is a bigger question. By who?
So if we ask we don't know who to even ask. But there are people in charge of managing some of these things. And so if you are talking about referral system, yes, it is a big problem. But the solution is such that it needs to be implemented from the top so that we at the district hospital or the municipal hospital or the health centers and all that, we can know that, okay, this is a clear way. Even now that we know, when we try to, activate it, then we see that there is a default or there is a fault with the system.
Who do you report to?
Who do we report to? Who at the end of the day takes responsibility for this malfunctioning? So these are the things that we need answers to. That the ministry, the managers and all those things should be able to provide a clear guideline for us to know that, okay, if you are doing this and you are not getting this, do A, B, C, and you get your result. Because the frustration is such that if you have any emergency, and these are emergencies, cases that will die in the next few hours if nothing is done. These cases need referral, like they need emergency response, they need monitor, they need CT scans, they need things that will give you a clear thing or idea of what you are dealing with so that you can salvage the situation. But these are the things that we are lacking in our system. So who is responsible for providing these things? We go to a point that we want to refer a case to a whole hospital, like a regional or a bigger facility. They will tell you that we don't have a CT machine. Our CT machine is not working. So take the case to Accra. Let them go and take a CT. Before now, they come to the regional. So this patient who doesn't have much time to survive must go through all these hurdles. Before now, they get to where they are going. They get there and they are dead. Sometimes they die in the ambulance. They die at the CT scan machine referral centers. And all these people, we are losing them because of what? So many loopholes. So I think that the problems, they are real-time problems. And so if a directive is given or if somebody sits in the office or somewhere and say, there's no way we should close down, it should be followed by actions. So that things are instructions, so that things are put in place And therefore, if you can activate this, you get this response. If you can do this, you get this answer. Then we can move from there. And all of us must be in the know that, okay, you can do this, this and that, and you get that, so that we can know what to do or where to call for us to get what we want.
But
So
you said something about the solution must come from up there. Up there, do the up there people know the problem as good as the people down there?
Yeah, so that's
Because you run the system.
yes.
So I feel that the solution cannot really, come from up there when all they take is reports from down there.
So
the reports can be done very nicely.
Yes.
You understand?
It would end up being found.
Yes, nicely, because you see, they have to present safe face.
Good,
so that it do not look like somebody is not doing their work.
But that's where the problem is, because the app there must have like a direct, what is it called, operation, or like know what is on the ground, because at the end of the day, implementation and making things available and all that, it comes from up there.
True.
So if you don't know what the reality is on, and sometimes you should know that we've had situations where people, like big people, are coming to the hospital and we try to make everything look very nice, make beds like labels, paint places, arrange things as if everything is
They
perfect.
start braiding the patient's hair.
So when they come, they see a very nice,
Organized.
yes, organized. But we know that on a normal day, we have a very big problem with all these things. Why don't we make them bare for them to see that, oh, these are the
main
situations
problems
on the ground? And
when
then,
you do that, somebody will lose their job.
but should you?
So, but you see, for every system, if you want to fact find and find it well, there are simple ways of testing the system. You don't have to come and say you are who is the boss or the minister at the top. You are coming to see for yourself. No, you will not see anything.
You know, see, you make everything look nice.
Yes.
Before you arrive.
So you send people. You understand? To come and assess the system from all various angles, and then they will come and tell you, this is what we found. They take this from us over here. They request for this. They do this. They do that. And then when you come, you tell them this is what you do here. You understand? But if you find out that, then what? That is the next question. You must be willing to fire somebody. Bring somebody who will not do the same thing. Because if you fire somebody and you bring somebody and the person is also doing the same thing, then why did you fire the first person?
So is it a human problem or a system problem? Okay, so the human means the system.
The recommendations that the committee gave, was there a recommendation of lower facilities, as in facilities below regional and teaching hospitals, being better equipped in order to manage certain cases at their end, so they don't end up at these places and cause overcrowding? Because truth be told, some of the cases that we send to these regional teaching hospitals are cases that where maybe the proper resource could have been managed in a municipal hospital or in a district hospital. But because they don't have that resources, they still have to send the person to a larger facility, which would create more people coming in, would also add up to the overcrowding situation. Like we're saying, you can expand Kolebu Hospital to be like from one stretch to the other stretch, but it would still be full. Did the committee even like recommend anything like that? I've not read a full report.
Well, as far as equipment and things are concerned, you see, such a committee is supposed to make recommendations which does not involve so much money. Otherwise, then when you have to now spend money, you have to go to the Ministry of Finance and go and justify your case.
But,
you understand?
But you need to spend.
When you like having specialists in these hospitals, they don't.
No, it's because you said equipment. That's why in your initial submission, you said equipment. That's why. Bringing people into these spaces. You see, our system is a problem. They didn't say that. Even bringing specialists, you have to compensate them in a certain way. because they are living their city life. They are coming to a certain deprived place. They probably will not bring their family along. They have to be traveling every weekend up and down. For what? You understand? For what? And if they come, probably you don't have a special. You see, it's not just specialist doctors, specialist nurses to take care of your cases after your post-operative, specialist medications
Specialist wards.
which are not
Socialized wards.
available in the district. Now, when you write the medicine, the person will still have to take car and go to Kolebu to go and buy it. So it's not that easy to solve. You see, and that is why I said that the solution doesn't only come from above. The whole of the system. You see, when I entered the system first, I thought that initially I will be given a set of case management protocols to go and study. Because when they teach us in medical school, they give us a variety of options. So when you go, you see that, oh, this is your doctor or senior colleague, he does his things this way. When you go to another place, this person is doing their things this way. But in Ghana Health Service, this is how we do our things. When you get a case of, let's say, a cesarean section, these are the protocols. If you get a case of a hernia, these are, if you follow those protocols and you get a bad results, you are safe. You understand? The health system, the service will take the blame because they ask you to operate that way. Use this medicine. If not available, use this one. That is easy. That is what we call on-the-job training. But there are no such laid down protocols. In fact, some are there. There's a CS guideline, which the College of Physicians and Surgeons have brought out. But how many people know about it? Has the ministry service made a deliberate effort to make sure that everybody is aware? Because every doctor does cesarean section in the Ghana Health Service. Just a few who don't. Anybody who does cesarean section has to be given this book to read and tested on before they are given the knife to cut the person. Anybody who does a referral must know the referral protocol. There are cases that you have to call the police and report. All these things must be stated. Somebody comes with a gunshot wound, you need to call the police. A child comes with a certain fracture, you need to call the police. Maybe the parent is beating the child. All those things, I'm not saying they are not there because I can't say for a fact they are not there. But there's no active implementation in making sure that the workers on the ground, they know these things. It's not tied to their CPD. Like we will learn it. If you know that you have to renew your license and there are 3-4 Ghanaian service things that you have to do and it's in there, you can even pay and do it. Because you need to renew your license. You understand? It's not in there. If they exist, then people don't know. And if they do not exist, then somebody should make it available. So that you know that as far as it's a Ghana Health Service facility, or even if not Ghana, Ministry of Health facility, if you want to transfer a case, you need to do 1, 2, 3, 4 things. And the outcome may be they will direct you somewhere, they will say come, or they will come and help you in your hospital. And it is there. Once you have done your bits, you are not afraid. That way, people will open-heartedly take cases and see them. Because they know there's a guideline. Right now, you are left with your own imaginations to handle cases. And somebody's imagination is that, let the person go. You understand? And now this person has died. And because of that, he's being held accountable. That is why I made a point the first time that those who are being put in custody of the system have been left to go scot-free in this whole scenario. And a few people whose names have been mentioned are the ones suffering for it. Even though their mistakes or what they did on the day were unpardonable. It is because they were enabled by certain people. So what I would like to see is that these reforms take a practical approach. It's not like taking 7, 5, 15 people somewhere, sit down, do some high-level meeting, and the system remains the same. So somebody else dies again. So it's not only the doctors and nurses who saw this. It's not only police hospital, Rich Hospital, Kolebu Hospital who have failed.
Whole
Is
system.
from the top, the very top, to the last chips compound. You have not failed. Because trust me, if the patient came to your facility, you will not have done any better. You have done your best, but it will only be enough for the person. After you receive the case, will you get a hospital bed for him in UDMC if he doesn't have money? So, for me, it's something that our emergency system is something that I'm very, very passionate about, because you don't know when you are one emergency away from your death.
Sure.
And I don't want to say certain things because I was in 37 when the late Professor Tamils was brought there. At that time, I was a student. May his soul rest in peace. And it wasn't good.
Face the system.
It wasn't good. You understand? We didn't know he was there, but those who because of obvious reasons. But it wasn't nice that a whole head of state, sitting head of state. But that was the system. You understand? So we are all victims of the system, and he's not the only one. Remember the Kumasi MP. What's his name? I said Jiso MP.
The
one who
deputy
died.
finance minister.
The one who I've forgotten his name during the past administration. He died.
Yes.
You understand? If our emergency services are working, why will you want to fly even though you have an emergency? You're going to fly. You're on his way
John Kuma.
John Kuma. On his way to Accra, so that from there when they stabilize him, he flies.
That's what we heard.
That was the rumors out there, allegedly. You understand? But if you see, anything can be faulty, but the emergency system must be sensitive. Must be sensitive. Okay, I don't know about fire service. I don't know about police. But what I know about is ambulance service and our emergencies.
Yes.
So I think if you want to talk about this, we keep talking to tomorrow. We keep talking to tomorrow. So we want you to leave your comments in the comment section and tell us what you think can be done about this situation. And I don't think no bed syndrome should be the name for it, because it's really not about beds. It's about our attitude as health professionals, and it's also about the whole system that we are running as a Ghana health system. We need somebody who would actually engage the people and come out with a workable solution that will curb this, because our ambulance system is not working. Our health emergency systems are weak, or maybe in certain places it's not existing. The whole district has one ambulance. When the ambulance is down, we are left to transport our patients, emergency patients, in taxis and Okada. It's sad.
Very sad.
It's sad. And the worst of it is, if you are in a hospital and you don't have money, they don't come. They will not come for you. And this person is an emergency. And when they are saying that they won't come and the person dies because you are already in the hospital, that will not be a headline. But if they are bringing, and you say that because they are coming from outside into the hospital, that will be a headline.
Yeah.
You understand? So let's all, whether you are by any means playing your part in the health emergency system, do our best that we can. But that notwithstanding, our bosses and superiors at the top should also create the system for us that enables us to get the best out of ourselves, so that the patients. I always say that when I do the best for the patients, I can sleep at night, no matter the outcome, because I'm not God. I don't give life.
Yeah.
You understand? We should all do our best for the patient in the given circumstance. We've clearly seen that in the case of Charles Amisah, the best was not done for the patient. So we are hoping that we will not have to sit down and discuss this again because somebody is dead, but we will see, steady and deliberate efforts to improve the Ghana health system for the betterment of you and me. This has been the BODD podcast, conversation with Manoku, a renowned, himself is a renowned YouTuber. So you can go and follow him. What's the name of your channel?
Mind Vitamins.
Mind Vitamins. Yes. Go and find him and follow him.
Mind Vitamins.
And then get some vitamins for your mind. We'll come your way again with another episode. It's bye from here.
Bye.